Hey everybody, this is Jason with Brett's Brick Builds, and you are looking at kit number 60349. Lunar Space Station. Has 500 listed pieces, 5 minifigures, a brick separator, a 3-module space station with a shuttle. There's also a, I assume, meteorite on the side. There's some other details too, so let's go ahead and start taking a closer look at this. First two minifigures we'll look at are part of the interior crew. They don't have any space suits or anything, they just have the similar jumpsuits to each other. She has a drill, or similar type of item for working on the space station, and he doesn't have any particular tools assigned to him in the kit. Let's take a look at the rear of the figures. The rear of these two figures have really minimal printing on them, just on the torso and just like the back of a jumpsuit or set of coveralls. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other figures that come with the kit. The minifigure in the middle is the pilot of the shuttle. The minifigure on the left is one of the lunar workers. He's going to be doing a spacewalk, and he's got a wrench for going outside there. And this minifigure on the right has a camera and also a jetpack, essentially, for steering around and moving outside of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear of the figures real quick. Character on the left has the jetpack. She's got like the little ports there for steering with. Character in the middle is the pilot of the shuttle, so she doesn't really have any like exterior back printing. She just has printing on her there. She doesn't have any other pieces on her back. And on the right is the character with the wrench. He's got the space logo for Lego, and then he's got a couple hooks here where he can hang stuff on for doing maintenance on the outside. And now let's take a look at them with their helmets on. Both of the figures that are made to go outside the space station do work, and wireless spacewalks and whatnot. They have the gold helmet. The face shield does not flip up on those, it stays down. And in the middle we have the pilot of the shuttle, and she has on a blue face shield that I assume is different because she's piloting the shuttle up and not just hanging around on the outside of the space station. Let's go ahead and take a look at the shuttle for the space station. Here we have the shuttle for the lunar space station. At the rear, we have what looks to be the engine, that orange piece in the middle. Then we have 2 Technic studs up and down, top and bottom. And we have 4 solar arrays set up in the back for power. We have from the top, you can see our pilot sitting in there. And there's some stickers to go on the capsule, the canopy. They go on pretty easy. They are going on a compound curve kind of setup, especially this one here at the front, but they still went on pretty nicely. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside so we can see what's going on there. On the inside of the shuttle, we've got our pilot sitting in there with the control panel in front of her. And then in the back, we have this piece. I'll get this out so you can take a look at it. What we have here in this piece, as we've seen before, some other sets, is there's a crystal in there. They're transporting up to the station or transporting back to Earth. I'm not sure which way they're going. It's that blue crystal, clear, translucent material we've seen before. And we'll get to a little more of that here in a second. But that is what is transported in the shuttle behind the pilot. Gotta pop back in there. There we go, centered on the stud, and then the canopy goes on quite nicely. Now let's take a look at the main portions of the space station. What we have on the main portion of the space station is 3 modules. We have what I was calling the power module, the airlock, and then the living quarters. So let's start with the power portion. What we have here is inside of this canopy, we have this piece here that pulls out. And again, we have the blue of the crystals, so assuming that's what's working for power. We got the caution marks on it, meaning it's important and be careful with it. And the way it works is without this in, the solar panels are just hanging down. But once you put this in place, go ahead and close that entry door, locks the solar panels into place. And the solar panels can be turned, however which way you should choose, have them going this way, the other way. It just depends. They're a mirror image of each other on both sides. Another thing I like that they have, and they are all throughout this build and in many separate pieces, is the little grab handles. These gold grab handles, much like you'd have in real life. If let's say one of the guys working outside needs to hang on to something, put him on there, pop it on. He can just hang on there. The next section of the build that we have is what I was calling the airlock. It has doors on both sides that open up, and it doesn't go into the power portion, but your Lego figure can go in this direction and get inside the living quarters, and we'll see that in a second. But the middle portion primarily, I believe, is just the airlock to get the figures into the inside. And again, we've got more of those grab handles all through the build. So fairly realistic in that point to actual space station kind of operation. What we have up here, we have a meteorite, or I think it's a meteorite. I think it's a, what is it? When it hits the ground, it's a meteor, it's a meteorite. I'm not sure on the difference, but essentially we've got a meteor here. We go ahead and pop this open, and look at that, we've got more crystal inside, the valuable crystal that they mine in the world of Lego space. So more crystals for them to mine there. Pop back on. They're holding on to that. You notice we have the clamp sign here, because that's going to be where they're clamping on to the item that they're trying to capture. Spin around here on this end. What we have here is there's another what's the word I'm thinking of? Satellite dish type deal, so they can communicate. We got another solar panel on top, which is what I was thinking of at the beginning there. That's a decal, a sticker you have to put on. On this end, we have, this opens up, and again, this allows us access into the living quarters there. So what would happen is the Lego shuttle would come up and dock to here when that is open, and then that is attached to the space station. Now we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the inside of the living quarters. There's a lot of detail going on in here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it justice by showing it to you. But again, as I mentioned before, we got the grab handles again happening, which is, you know, realistic and handy if you ever see a video of them up on the space station. They're floating around grabbing onto stuff. So there's no artificial gravity with this setup. What we have at the bottom here is like sleeping quarters. On both sides, there is a fold-out bed, and then there's a video communicator here, and we have a similar thing on the other side. We also got some video monitors up here on both sides. And let me spin it around to the other side so you can take a look. Go ahead and get the doors open all the way. Again, we have at the bottom another bunk. Looks like that person may be talking to somebody back home. Up here in the kind of the galley, we've got a banana. More grab handles. We got a water bottle. Some greenery here. I don't know if that's an experiment or some food. But both of these directions, that way would go out to the shuttle, and this way would lead in. Let me open this up here. This way is completely open here to where the minifigures can walk out to the airlock. At the bottom, where the bunks are at, I'll go ahead and I'll pop a figure in here. They have the angle piece with the little spacer in between. That works out good for taking and laying a minifigure down on. And then they lay there in their bunk. They also have room up here where people can be, they can be standing and working inside the living quarters area. The only thing that I found was kind of on the build, and this is just being, particular, is when you shut the panels up, these window pieces, it pushes the guy up to a kind of an unnatural angle that he's laying there. And on the box, it leads you, in my opinion, it leads you to believe a little more like those are hanging straight, but there's these reinforcement pieces here on the side of the windows that they don't allow them to do that. Top portion, go ahead and close that down. Pretty straight up as far as how it works. You do have a lot of room in there to get figures in and fingers in and whatnot to work, do whatever kind of playability that you're working on. Go ahead and close this one up here. Close that there. Also, as I mentioned, you do have a brick separator, which comes in handy and is always nice. But essentially, that is it. That is kit number 60349, Lunar Space Station. Obviously, these pieces here or just, you know, that's support for, you know, in our real world of gravity, there's support there. And, you know, use your imagination in real life, this thing would just go on like that, and those things wouldn't be on there, I wouldn't think. So 500 listed pieces. I thought it was a fun build. It's got, you know, 5 figures with it, so that's pretty nice. It does have the weird thing with the bunks. That'd be my only, like, complaint, if you could even call it a complaint. But I would not let that dissuade you from buying this kit if you're looking for one of the space kits. I know the space kits are kind of a particular thing. Some people love them. Some people aren't such a fan of them. I'm kind of halfway on them. I like them as a build. I don't know how they would have playability, and I'm still a little confused how they fall into the city platform of the Lego genres, but that's kind of neither here nor there. Overall, as a kit, I would recommend it. It went together pretty okay. There is a fair amount of decals with it. Just be known, just let that be known before you buy it if you're a decal opponent, as I am essentially. These are pre-printed here. The solar panels on the pieces there are pre-printed, so you don't have to worry about that. And that is all I can think of as far as a review on this kit. So, if you would be so good as to go over and hit us with a like and subscribe, we'd appreciate it. Helps our channel out, helps the algorithm, you know, unbelievably helps us out as far as getting more viewers. We'll be back next week with a review of another one of our ASMR kits. And it will be either the Speed Champions McLaren build or the Batman Bat Cycle build. It'll be one of those two you'll be seeing next week. So depends on how the voting goes. So if you want to see one faster than the other, go ahead and vote on our poll in our community section there on the YouTube channel. Go ahead and give us your thoughts. In the meantime, I'm Jason with Brett's Brick Builds. This has been our review of the Lunar Space Station, kit number 60349, 500 pieces listed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.